Hi, welcome to the Purple Ladder. And today we're going to review the Purple Rain album. Yes, sir. We're finally at the point to wrap this up. It's been a long time. I think it's been 7 months since we started with the Purple Rain era. I told you guys it was going to be a long era because this was the first, or I might say, this was the breakthrough for Prince. Not the breakthrough, but this was made him a superstar. So with the movie, with the album, and all the singles and the tour, we got to cover a lot of ground. So Purple Ladder is going to do that, cover all the ground we can because we're in, as I call, the classic Prince era, the classic era of his greatness, his royal badness, where he just went off and made some of the most historical albums on the planet. So we're gonna review this album, Purple Rain, the masterpiece that it is. And let me start off, as I do, give you a little bit of history. And I just want to say I love you guys. I love you guys' support. And I'm reaching 900 subscribers. And I appreciate all you guys' support and everything you have done. And I can't do this without you. That is what keeps me going. God bless you guys. Purple Rain is the sixth studio album by American singer, songwriter, and producer and multi-instrumentalist Prince. It was released on June 25th, 1984 by Warner Brothers as the soundtrack album to the 84 film of the same name. Purple Rain was musically denser than Prince's previous albums, emphasizing full band performances and multi-layers of guitar, keyboards, electronic synthesizer effects, drum machines, and other instruments. Much of the album had a grandiose, synthesized, and psychedelic sheen to the production and performance. The music on Purple Rain is generally regarded as the most pop-oriented print of Prince's career. Yes, through a number of elements points towards the more experimental records Prince will release after the Purple Rain album. The music video for the album's lead single When Doves Cry sparked controversy among network executives who thought its sexual nature was too explicit for television. The risque lyrics of Darling Nikki raised complaints from Tipper Gore and the Parents Music Resource Center, PMRC, was created really and contributed to the implementation of the parental advisory stickers and imprints on the covers. So let's just stop right there. Purple Rain was a masterpiece. Uh, it was so different for its time. I'm gonna tell you something. It was like I said earlier, pop oriented. It was a pop album. It had, but it sounded different, had different layers of sounds and everything, but it still had melodies that were catchy. Like for instance, you look at the beginning of the album, Let's Go Crazy, with what was different was the sermon, you know, there's something called life, and what he just goes on, the sermon really sets the tone for the movie and the album. Then you get that feel, you get that rock and roll feel of Let's Go Crazy. Really a more rock and roll funk disco type of sound, with a raging riff of a guitar solo in the middle and at the end of the song, you get that riff. It shows Prince talent that nobody ever thought he had, for us in the mainstream. They didn't know Prince can play like this. So you get that talent at the beginning. Then you go on to a really more catchy song when Take Me With You that really has that psychedelic feel, the drums. Uh, Prince, and I'm pretty sure that was his voice at the beginning, or it could have been anybody, you know. I remember years people were saying, well, you know, Jill Jones sung that song. I'm not going to spoil anything. I'm just going to say Apollonia voice is in there. You know, maybe I think you hear a voice on the second or third verse or whatever. You hear that's her voice, but it could be Jill Jones in there. Like I said, I'm not going to spoil. It could be Prince doing the first line, first verse. But I'm gonna tell you something. You know, it's a layer of mystery, but you know that fantasy, that ride, and Take Me With You. Some it sets up the movie. It's just one of those songs that's catchy, poppy, and really sets the tone of the movie and everything, and it gets you into the album. To once you hit Beautiful Ones, one of my all-time favorites. This is to me one of the best songs on the album. When I say that personally, you know, as I have grown, I listen to this album. That song is amazing. You could never get a better song. The beginning of the song and get to the end of the song where you get that passion, that desperation, the feel. It really it's my favorite part of the movie. You know, at the time when Prince at the beginning of his band in there, you know, arguing whatever they doing. Then he gets to say "Sees Mars Day." Then after he finishes the song, the girl is his, basically, because she is swooned by this song. She's in tears at the end. And then he at the hallway, see Billy. Billy, you know the famous line of what he said, the one song. And then he gets the girl on the bike, and that's it. So Beautiful Ones is amazing. And as I did the solo interview, I'm not going to go through that. Who is the song is about? Just like the most beautiful girl in the world, it could be about all the girls. It could have been about Vanity, Apollonia, and Susanna. I'm just going to pick all three of them, but it's so beautiful. Then you swoon into the album. That's when you get all the everything compiled up together. And you get Blue. I mean, Computer Blue, amazing album. Yeah, amazing song. I mean, it's what better song? He gets the inspiration from his dad, just a piano riff, where he finds his dad in another fight with his mom, and he's playing the piano, just like he said, "I thought you weren't gonna play no more." Prince sees, you know, that his father is in bad shape, nervous and everything. And he asks him, you know, where did you get that? You know, you got them written down somewhere. And then he said he don't write them down, which he lied. But Prince brilliantly gets gets that riff and make it into the song with the guitar, basically. You know, with the help of Wendy and Lisa mostly. Uh, another masterpiece. You know, is this was a song that showed his creativity on the guitar, you know, where he didn't sing a lot. You got a few lines, but he just shreds the guitar, letting you know that, man, this is a rock star. But the song Computer Blue, he's just saying, you know, until he find the righteous one, the right one, his computer is blue, is blank. You know, he'll just keep searching, searching, and searching until he find that righteous one. Then we get to the infamous Darling Nikki. Prince, you know, started purposely putting these type of songs on there. where he basically basically want to create some controversy, you know. So this was that song, but this was quite different than Jack You Off or uh, what's the other one? Head or something. Head was a controversy, but this was way beyond because of the back masking that created controversy, but what he said in a positive way. And then you have the Masturbating magazine. So many kids bought this album, but they would not play. When they heard this song, a lot of them was shocked. I'm gonna tell you a story that when I took this to my class party, I think I was in the fifth, sixth grade or something, fifth grade, and the teachers wouldn't play this. And my friend Carlos was like, "Why they didn't play Darling Nikki?" You know, I was like, I don't know, didn't understand it too much, but I knew that later in years they didn't play it because of this song, you know, of Darling Nikki because of the content of the song. I mean, so you did not get Darling Nikki. So Tipple Gore heard it and she created the PMRC and went on and made a big deal about it. So Prince really set the tone for the parental advisory sticker because I think he had three songs on there on the Filthy 15. And that's Darling Nikki. Great song, great job by the doc with the synthesizer. You know, weird song, but it's a great story. You know, with the devices, with the castle, amazing. So when you flip over to the other side, you really get masterpieces like When Doves Cry. When Doves Cry was totally different for its time. It was familiar because of the synthesizer, so but it didn't have any bass. So you get a song with no bass synthesizer, and it's the number one song of the year, one of Prince's biggest hits. Mm. The content of the song or what he was talking about. Now I heard stories that the song was about Susan Moonsie, and I can believe it. You know, Prince gets his inspiration from women, and I can believe this song is about her. And he put his mother and father in it, and that's what made the song so good. Songs like that, I think Prince should have, won more Grammys for this album because the songwriting was amazing. What he created, you know, he blew out anybody that year, and I'm talking about it was some great albums, but this album was way above some of the albums that won more Grammys. So, and that's When Doves Cry, great song. Then you ease onto one of my personal favorites, I Would Die for You. What more can you ask for somebody to say that? This fits perfectly with the movie I Would Die for You. Man, it's amazing. So that song in itself is short, but what's so great about it is another synthesized song, which I believe it could have been Lindrum because it's so digital computerized, basically, um, of that 80s sound. But at like 3 minutes or 257, 259, it is right, I'm gonna say right at 3 minutes. It's such a great song. The words, probably some of the greatest words of the albums, which I think When Doves Cry and Purple Rain had some of the most beautiful lyrics of his album, man. This is one great song. It's so quick and concise. It just gets there, gets to the point, and rips. Nothing else sounds like it. That's why I say Prince was so different. he made sure he made an album nobody really can copy. And this was one of the songs. Then you get to Baby I'm a Star. I'm not a big fan of this song. And I have my personal reasons, I just not going to explain it, but this is the Minneapolis sound. That sound, is very familiar. And if you get the Minneapolis sound, you don't hear it that much in this album. This is the one song that has it. So, Baby I'm a Star was that finishing touch, that end of the movie song, that song that finished off the stage, a song that he had to perform, live every time because it's that funk filled song, it's just bragging, saying, he a star, you know, a bragging rights, more, like, hey, more of the time. This is more of like Morris Day and the Time, but this is the Minneapolis sound right here with Baby I'm a Star. But the album caps off with the masterpiece, Purple Rain. I picked this song on my countdown to be number one because of this is a song that he has to sing. This is his swan song. This is his masterpiece. The last song I think he sung before his life ended. But this is one of the greatest songs of all time. And like I say, I personally I would have picked Beautiful Ones, but and put this at number two, but I had to put this at number one because when I listen to the end of the Purple Rain song, I go into tears because I love strings, and this has some of the most amazing strings, like a event. When I used to play this as a kid, it was like an event. You hear that song, everybody knew I was playing the Purple Rain album in the neighborhood. That's how Purple Rain is. Purple Rain is got with the verses. It's talking about three different people, and I'm not going to get into it because I already explained it. But that's the amazement with the guitar riffs and Prince passionately singing, and in some verses where he talking but he's speaking like a preacher. That's the command that he had over the audience. And Purple Rain, captivates the whole audience every time you put it on. This is what people remember. This is what people want. Prince had some great songs in his catalog. This is just one of the songs that stands out. It stands out as his best, which I don't think this is best, but it always gonna stand out as his best. So I'm gonna Purple Rain, give it a review. Purple Rain gets a 10. 10 out of 10. It's one of the greatest albums in history, and Prince does an amazing job compiling with the flow, with the help of the Revolution. You don't get no better. And really, I think 1999 sets up the classic era. This is the beginning of the explosion into superstardom. And he takes it for another 3 to 4 years on one of the most amazing rise in musical history. Purple Rain. And thank you. This is the Purple Ladder signing off, saying peace, God bless. I want you to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in another video. Thank you.